Okay, so let's talk about, Raiden, and a lot of people, want to defend her by saying she's not a main DPS anymore. She's either a sub DPS or like a utility character. And it's just like, this character is bad at both of those. The reason being, because Kuki here is a character that can just do electro application off field. That is Raiden's entire purpose of what these people are saying. These people that want to sit here and say, well, Raiden's a sub DPS now. Raiden is doing nothing other than her electro application and her burst damage. But the thing is, they're saying her electro application for Hyperbloom, because that is where her electro application seriously matters. Now, there is a Eula team, but Eula is a bad character. So why should I even care about that? And why? Okay, another thing, right? She gives damage bonus to Eula, right? That's, when I was talking about, someone asked, like, is she worth it for the Eula team? I completely forgot that she gives the damage bonus to Eula through her, E skill. But is it worth it? No, because this is a 5-star character. This character costs 200 summons. You can get half of this character's kit for free, You could legitimately just use Lisa, make her react with Cryo on Eula's team, and you get half of the reason why people want to run Raiden on that team. Sure, you're going to miss the damage bonus, but hey, if you have constellations, look at that. Oh no, that's the increased defense. Where are you at? I know she, oh, is it C6? Oh, no, where is it? 10 energy. Is it just for free? Oh, she just has 15% defense decrease just like that. Oh, well, again, she also has this. I don't know how much this is, but considering 20% is an overall 10% damage increase, I would say Lisa's probably going to be looking pretty good as a replacement for Raiden on Eula's team. I've never personally used it, but just by looking at it, knowing how the game functions, I can say confidently that Lisa's going to be a pretty good replacement. And she's a free replacement. You need her C0. That's all. That's all. You don't need, anything else. So I'm gonna sit here and say, like, what is the cope for Raiden when you guys, complain about me comparing her as a DPS, right? This is why I don't like it, because I have a C3 Raiden. I know what she looks like truly as, like, when you want to use her as a DPS. However, people want to, cope for her and say she's a sub DPS or she's a support at this point, which is not good, because her support capabilities and her sub DPS capabilities are not unique, are not good, right? Let's be honest. All right, I'm going to show you guys, Kuki here, and we're going to show then an EM Raiden, right? We're going to show that this is the team. Now, there's one thing Raiden can do on this specific team. She can be on field. And that's pretty huge, because Raiden does pretty good damage on field, even if you build her full EM, but that's a C3 Raiden. I have no idea what a C0 Raiden looks like. Let's talk about Kuki's damage, right? You want to see Kuki's damage? Let me get some energy. Thank you. Okay, let me grab that. And we'll do this, and we'll go ahead and we'll start off with this. Okay, give me energy. And you can see Kuki is doing what? 18,000 damage, I think. 1,300 elemental mastery. Sure. Perfect. 39,000, things from that. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we didn't really get to see that, but 39,000 Hyperbloom, right? Because she had, I think, her buff activated where she died, but she didn't die. I am using a 5-star weapon on her. It's not huge though, because it's really not that much more elemental mastery other than, this, honestly. So it's okay, but it's not, huge. So let's go ahead and showcase full EM Raiden. Now, again, full EM Raiden on this team has an advantage with being able to be played on field. So let's go ahead and look at that. And Kuki and Raiden can get basically up to the same thing. And once again, the Lisa comparison can be used here too, because, Lisa and Raiden can get up to the same amount of elemental mastery, and, they don't have any external ways of buffing their elemental mastery. So yeah, you guys got to stop. It's just like, this character is not worth, like, coping for on any means. It just isn't. She really just is not. Her support abilities just aren't unique, right? It's just electro characters in general have those support abilities. You could use Kaching and she could have the same support abilities, right? I could use Kaching on field full EM and she could do the same sort of an idea here. Like, it's not like Hyperbloom, the entire argument for Hyperbloom. Oh yeah, we can talk about how, Raiden can't heal here. So Kuki, oh wow, Raiden can be on field for one rotation, 1 out of every 2 rotations, she can be on field, but there's no healing. There's no healing, so that damage bonus, once you do that 1 out of every 2 rotations, it's gone. It's gone. Unless you select an Abyss buff, which I don't like to factor in, you're not going to heal. So let's go ahead and let's start off with these, and let's see how well they go. And then we'll have this, and we'll have this, and we'll have this. Okay, so let's see how much damage. So Raiden here is doing 6,000 damage, and she's doing, I don't know, around 36,000 Hyperblooms. Yeah, 33,000 actually. Yeah, 36,900. Yeah, that's what we were looking for. I know she can do 36,000 Hyperblooms. So yeah, she could do that, right? She could do that, right? The team looked better than it actually was because Capybara was getting knocked around, by the way. He took true damage, I guarantee it. That's where, you know, it ended up. Like, Raiden had easily over 1,000 elemental mastery. You know, it works, but what about that team is so much better than the Kuki team? Is it because Raiden's on field? Once again, you can only do that 1 out of every 2 rotations, so don't think it's that impressive. And also, I have a C3 Raiden. I was ignoring 60% of that guy's defense. For all I know, she could be doing less than like 2,000 damage. And at that point, it's like Kuki damage. It's literally like Kuki damage. Kuki was doing that much damage. Are we seriously going to sit here and, you know, oh, wow, Raiden, well, she's on field and she can regen character's energy, because you can't rely on the energy, right? You can't rely on the energy regen, because if you do rely on the energy regen, then you're just going to get cooked on the second rotation where she can't regen your energy. So do you want to do that? Do you want to put, well, I guess Furion is an E-skill reliant character, but in terms of Hydra application, Yelan is Hydra Q reliant, right? Do you want to do that? Do you want to? So yeah, people go to great lengths to defend this character, and it just does not work out. And it just, like, guys, I understand, whatever. And realistically, this is not the Hyperbloom team you should be using. I don't have Alhaitham, so I wasn't using it, right? Typically, I think the Hyperbloom team you would be using is Alhaitham, Raiden, then Nahida, then Fiorina, right? I think that is the Hyperbloom team that, you know, Alhaitham uses, and that is, like, the current best Hyperbloom team if you were to use a Hyperbloom team. But yeah, it's not great, again, because you don't have a healer. Now, we could talk about one thing we can do as healer. You know, this. It's okay. It's okay, but, you know, your characters are still going to be at 50% HP. So, like, in Abyss, you can take some hits normally if you're, like, at full HP, but this thing isn't going to get you to full HP. It's not. And it's going to keep you around that 50% mark, meaning you're not going to be able to take as many hits. So, do you want to sack that off for a little bit of extra damage from Raiden, or do you want to just say, yeah, Kuki's just a good enough option, right? Because Kuki's a 4-star. You don't have to summon for, like, 200 summons for her. You don't. I know it's shocking news, but you guys don't have to do that. So, yeah, I figured I would show off, you know, the sub DPS capabilities of Raiden and talk about, I just want everyone to be clear on what this character actually does and what she actually is. No, this character is not a character that I would recommend people summon for. People who want to defend her have tried to defend her, and it ends up being, oh, well, she's a sub DPS. Like, I say, here's her at being a main DPS, it's bad. Then they say, oh, no, she's a sub DPS. And then I say, she's exactly like every other Electro character. There are very few things that are different about this character than any other character. And this team is the only, like, one of the only teams that will actually show that, and then the fact that she's going to be on field regenerating, you know, energy for Yelan and Fiorina. But it's not a good enough team to do that, right? Because, you know, I mean, you could, you know, go ahead and get rid of EM Sands, right? If you wanted to, it would lower your damage. It's not worth bursting every 1 rotation. It's not worth it. I can guarantee you that. If my Raiden at C3 is only doing, you know, 6,000 damage, no, it's not going to be worth it. It's not. I know there are new players who are going to summon for this character and be like, oh, she's great. She's great. And then, like, they're going to get to endgame and they're going to be like, I've never used this character in my life since the first year. That's how it's going to be. Maybe even, like, first 4 months or something. Once people get to the endgame content, they'll realize, oh, no DPS character uses this character anymore, huh? So yeah, I don't want to hate on Raiden. If you enjoy her, go ahead and enjoy her, but, like, do not misinform people on what she's actually capable of and what, you know, makes her good, right? She's not. On all fronts, she's not good anymore. She just isn't. When Raiden was relegated to Hyperbloom, nobody wanted to sit there and be like, oh yeah, well, you know, she's, you know, so much better than all the other, she's the best. She's the best. We could say that. But what exactly does the best mean? Like, oh, wow, she's 5% better. Are we going to say 5% better is better? Like, sure, but, like, you know, is it worth it? And the answer to that question is no. So please, you know, just go ahead. Feel free to stop, you know, simping for this character. Because it genuinely is getting just, you know, you guys gotta stop. You just gotta stop. There's just no reason to keep doing it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.